Welcome back to Sexuality Sunday and Soul Strippers. We're talking about the body and shame and what is going on with body shaming. There is a huge paradigm right now that other people should not body shame that I do not fall into. I believe that people are supposed to tempt us into body shaming so that we can choose to unconditionally love our bodies. And rather than handing our personal power to somebody else and saying, you need to stop behaving this way, we say, I need to see if this is emotionally triggering me and it's something that I need to fix, heal, and evolve within myself. So the body is not a coincidence, and we are not just simply born into bodies out of some random choice. We choose our bodies before we incarnate. This is what I believe, anyways, that we decide if we have issues with our security, with our weaknesses. All of these things can be triggered by us being born into different bodies. So we start out, we're just a spirit, and we say, okay, either I made judgments about XYZ before, and so I'm going to have incarnate in this body in order to end these judgments and have compassion for these people, or I have insecurities within myself where I rate myself based on my body type. I rate other people on their bodies, their body types, rather than what is really inside of them. And we are all shallow. We are all base our decisions on physical attributes. It's just part of the human ego. And so we have these different elements where we're attracted to people based on body types and a lot of shallow substances. So in the pictures, you could have someone that is a great person, but the body type and the sexual attraction figures are these, say, if you're a woman, because I am, it's this big muscular guy. Well, he may be a complete jerk, but because he is physically good looking, you overlook those things. And so you have decided to base your opinions on someone based on looks rather than what's really inside of them. So there's all kinds of cool things that happen with us being in different bodies. For myself, I can tell you, I used to make judgments about cosmetic surgery. And particularly, I remember telling my first husband, I would never get a boob job. Well, guess who has a boob job? I do. And guess what happened? Life rolled out 3 babies later. I never got any boobs, anyways. Like ground zero. Never got over an A. So I decided that I needed this body type in order to get through these judgments and unconditionally love other women and myself, even with cosmetic surgery. So there's all kinds of cool things that can happen within the body and all kinds of cool ways we can evolve from our bodies being exactly the way they are and understand how we compare and rate and fall into ego where we're jealous or envious of somebody that has this kind of body type, or like being tall and slender. I grew up, I immediately felt hated by about 75% of women because I naturally was skinny. And so it matched my own personal insecurity because their insecurities were that I was skinny, and my own insecurities were that I didn't have a solid sense of myself. So if you don't approve of me, then I go up and down like a pinball according to your approval, rather than saying I approve and love of myself no matter what anybody else says or what judgments they make. So, the body is such a cool way, a cool vehicle in order to work through all of these elements. So, understanding body shaming as a mirror of healing is a great way in order to do self work. So, think about what comments emotionally trigger you. What happens in reality with people around you where they say something that emotionally triggers you? Whatever it's about. Maybe it's your weight. Maybe it's your height, your stature. Maybe it's you have freckles and you don't like freckles, and now you have freckles. You have to figure out where it is that you're holding shame, you're holding judgments, you're holding self-hate, and decide to unconditionally love yourself and become a solid sense of security, approval, and unconditional love based on who you are at your core rather than this physical body. And we have these different storylines of the ego that get fed by the media and advertising companies. I mean, there's a million products to make you look better, make you look younger, give you a fuller butt, protein shakes to build muscle mass for guys. There's all kinds of storylines that we have created around the body, and it's a natural inherent thing. When you look at animals, and there is always a pecking order with animals, but it doesn't have anything to do with what body type they have, or they don't have these body shaming issues of, hey, you're a fat cow. They're just like, whatever. They don't know. They don't have mirrors. So we have created all of this dysfunctional stuff, and we can uncreate it. Look and see what judgments you've made about others, like I mentioned with the boob job thing. If you make judgments of other people, the wheels of karma will put you in that position to be them. What about jealousy or envy? Where are you jealous or envious of others instead of admiring them? Yes, he's a very good looking guy. Yes, she is a beautiful woman. And instead of admiring somewhere internally you start to hate. You start to hate that person. And so that will lock you into having a body type that is less appealing because you haven't worked through your own jealousy and envy. And so you're forced to keep this container or this vessel that will keep triggering you into it until you can evolve over it. So the comparative mind can really be a beast if you do not know how to leash it in. What are my self-abuse patterns? A lot of people have weight issues because they have self-abuse patterns. And instead of knowing how to emotionally heal, they start emotionally eating or drinking or some type of an addiction. And the physical body, it shows up on. So everybody can see, including you, that you keep gaining weight because you keep emotionally eating. And because you keep emotionally eating, it's because you are not doing self-work. You are not deciding to heal your emotional issues. You are just staying trapped in this wheel of being triggered, reaching for advice, being triggered, reaching for advice, instead of saying, what is emotionally triggering me and why? What do I need to fix, heal, or evolve in order to break through this? You're designed off of a brilliant system of information. Look within yourself. Look outside of yourself to see what's triggering you. When the mind and the spirit are clean, so are the body. It's all a reflection of what is within. And it's all an important way for us to be attracting back to us what our issues are. So let's say you gain weight around your waist. So someone you're attracted to may even say, oh my gosh, you're attractive, but you sure carry a lot of weight around your waist. So then you can look and say, is this because I reject this part of me? And so when that person says that, we emotionally get triggered. And if you unconditionally loved, forgave yourself, and no longer got triggered, you could stop this wheel of emotionally eating, this wheel of these patterns. So I hope that helps you to understand that body shaming is actually an important part of people being able to do self-work. And we want everybody else to fix and heal what they're doing rather than fixing and healing our emotional reactions to them. When everybody is just being the way they need to be in order for us to get the messages that we need to get in order to evolve ourselves. So you can check me out. I have a website at www.soulstrippers.com I do past life regression hypnosis and other healing work. I also post here on Sundays. I'm going to be taking a little break for a little while because I'm trying to put all this content from my YouTubes into some blog posts and work with this crazy land of search engine optimization in order to get my website up on Google rankings. So I will be back after a little bit, but I am taking a break in order to get that in place and be able to touch and reach more people. So I hope you have a great Sunday. I hope this has helped you to understand that body shaming is meant to be worked through within ourselves. Other people are messengers to us of where the healing work needs to be done, and they are being exactly who they need to be in order for us to get the messages. Have a great Sunday.